Number one, swearing in the Cherokee Public School Board members. Desiree first, ladies first.
Stand up and repeat after me. I said, it's kind of like getting married. You just kind
Yeah,
of
it's
do
well.
the work.
Just walk over here. We'll let's see. Just face me and raise your right hand. I, Desiree Gibson, hereby declare under oath
I, Desiree Gibson, hereby declare under oath
that I will faithfully perform the duties of board member of Cherokee Public Schools.
that I will hereby
I will faithfully perform the duties of board members
board member
of Cherokee Public Schools,
Cherokee Public Schools,
District I-046,
District I-046,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge all of my duties
and that I will faithfully discharge all of my duties
pertaining to said office and obey the Constitution
pursuant to said office and obeying the Constitution
and laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
and the laws of the United States of Oklahoma.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
All right, Shane. Same deal. Raise your right hand. I, Shane Parker, hereby declare under oath
I, Shane Parker here, declare under oath
that I will faithfully perform the duties of board member of Cherokee Public Schools.
that you're going to cut that.
I almost did that.
Slow down about half.
I will faithfully perform the duties
I will faithfully perform the duties
of board member of Cherokee Public Schools,
of Cherokee Public Schools,
District I-046,
District I-046,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge all of the duties
and I will faithfully discharge all of the duties
pertaining to said office
pertaining to said office
and obey the Constitution
and obey the Constitution
and laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
and the laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
There you go, brother.
All right.
Welcome aboard.
Hey, before you sit down, can I get a picture of you three?
All right.
Put Corey in the middle.
You want us all to get up here?
You all can, yeah. Totally forgot my camera, so. Hey. Hush. I see her flew up and I was like, oh man, I didn't bring my camera.
Squish in. Thank you. That's nice. Because even stood like hyped good.
It is actually. Thank you.
Everyone watched that part of that.
I know, every time I break it up more too, I promise. I'm not trying to.
Sorry I messed up. We're a little fast.
Nobody's got it right yet.
Well,
All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Samantha, you take roll, and it's 7:04. Number 3, discussion and possible vote for the reorganization of the Board of Education.
Any discussion? Amber, are you good? Corey?
Yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable with the way it is, if you guys don't mind. I haven't ever served as secretary, but I've been vice president for a long time. And I feel Corey's done a good job as president, so for this year, if we can just leave them how they are, we'll just nominate them how they are, I guess. If that's
We always come back to this one, about this time every year. We'll look at it, and if we need to change things, we can.
so you want to make a
Waiting on a
motion?
motion.
Just make a motion to leave the members as are.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to leave the members.
Second.
TJ's made a motion, Amber second, Samantha?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Barker,
Yes.
and Willhite. Yes.
That's your first vote under your belt. That's great.
All right.
Number 4, approval of the consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at board meetings will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote to any or all these items. The consent agenda consists of a discussion, consideration, and the approval of the following A through M. And I'm hoping you guys got your packets in enough time to review everything that includes A through M. And if you didn't, or if you have a question, now's the time to follow up.
And I just want to make a comment. L is fundraiser for FCCLA. Egg My Yard. She's not going to take the children around. They're not going to throw eggs at anything, but they are going to hide some Easter eggs, which is a pretty neat idea. And and then we have a new elementary sub-account, Imagination Library, and Ruth is going to talk a little bit more about that. But it's an amazing program we're going to implement, and the Wrightses sent us a very nice contribution for Imagination Library. And instead of putting all of that Imagination Library money into the Wrights account that we already have, because they had given some money for some other things, we felt like it needed to be placed under the elementary account as a sub-account so that it wasn't spent incorrectly. And so that's what that is.
Any other questions, A through M? I have a motion.
Second.
Amber's made a motion, TJ second. Samantha?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Number 5 will be no action, since everybody's here.
And just for a clarification on that for our new members, in the event that Amber had not been here, she's the clerk, then somebody would have made the motion to appoint someone that was here so that we could go ahead and get the bond sale
Signed
ready. So that's why there's no action on that.
Number 6, board to consider and take action on a resolution determining the maturities of and setting a date, time, and place for the sale of the $765,000 taxable combined purpose building bonds of the school district and designation bond council for the issuance of bonds.
And what we're going to do here is we're going to set the date for the bond sale. Andy Davis from Stephen L. Smith will come and he will open all our bids that we have from whatever banks bid on our interest rate. It's kind of an interest rate thing. And then we will, by law, we will take the lowest interest rate that comes through. And they have until 12 noon that day to get it to us in some fashion.
April 26th is over.
April 26th at noon.
I'll make a motion that the board approve the April 26th, 12 noon resolution authorizing the sale of the bonds.
I'll second.
I made a motion, TJ second. Samantha?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Number 7, discussion and vote to approve the appointment of the Cherokee Public Schools Residency Committee, Jeremy Hickman, Ruth Richmond, Anita Jordan, Alicia Mitchell, and Lindsay Healy.
This is when you have new teachers and you have to have a committee that helps them. It's kind of, sometimes we do it yearly, sometimes not, depending on if we have teachers that first year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Amber's made the motion, TJ second. Or Samantha?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
White. Yes.
That probably won't be the last time either.
That's fine.
I understand.
Number 8, discussion and vote to approve the appointment of the Local Wellness and Safe School Committee. See attached.
We have a committee that will be reviewing not so much our wellness policy, because we did that for healthy schools last year. We've already kind of brought that up to date. But we have some safe school issues that we really do need to update. And we went through the student issue last couple of months ago. We have a policy in place for procedures to do that, and we quickly realized how that inadequate that piece of paper was. And so we'll be updating active shooter, suicide procedures, weather procedures, all of the procedures that are any kind of a crisis that happens at the school. Bringing in Cindy Swearingen, who teaches classes at FEMA, and she and I will get together and we'll start the process of really getting some good plans together that we'll drill differently, and we will make sure that we're doing all we can to keep kids safe. So
So
that
she'll
is,
come and look, and then she'll do like recommendations on, will she be looking to change some of the policies or procedures or things? Or?
what she's going to do is help me get, it's a collaboration between your sheriff's department and your police department and your fire department, and then you start figuring out what the command center is and who is responsible for which items and who is PR, and then it goes down to within ours, like the principals, and then who does what beneath that, and then that way we have an organizational chart basically to do that. But Cindy, a lot of the FEMA training is putting the paperwork together to be able to start with your own school, making it your own, because no two schools can just copy each other's really.
Any other discussion, questions?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Amber's made the motion, TJ second, Amantha?
Louisville.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
Bobbit.
Yes.
Number 9, proposed executive session to discuss the employment status of certified teachers on regular and temporary contract and support personnel for the school year 18-19, so that the board can return to open session and vote to employ or not to employ the certified teachers on regular contract or temporary contract and support personnel for the school year 18-19, and the employment of a cafeteria support person. This executive session permitted by 25 OS 307B1.
Motion.
I'll second.
Corey. Allison.
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
Bobbit.
Yes.
Mine is 7:13. Open session. Second. Amber's motion, TJ second. Samantha?
Louisville.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
Bobbit.
Yes.
I just looked at it and I went blank. 8:23.
During executive session, we discussed the employment status of certified teachers on regular and temporary contracts and support personnel for the school year 2018-19, and also the employment of cafeteria support person.
Number 13. Vote to employ or not to employ the listed certified teachers on regular or temporary contract for the 18-19 school year.
Make a motion.
I have to specify for
I'd say attachment A.
Attachment.
TJ's made a motion, do I have a second? Amber's second. Samantha?
Louisville.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
Bobbit.
Yes.
Number 14, vote to employ or not to employ the listed support personnel for the 18-19 school year. See attachment B.
Motion to approve.
Amber's made a motion,
I'll second.
TJ second. Samantha?
Louisville.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
Bobbit.
Yes.
Number 15, vote to employ a cafeteria support person for the remainder of the 17-18 school year.
I am going to recommend that we hire Marie Nettles for the remainder of the 17-18 school year for cafeteria support person.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Amber's made a motion, TJ second. Samantha?
Louisville.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Parker.
Yes.
Bobbit.
Yes.
Number 16, the principal's report.
Well, we just finished up our third 9 weeks. Hard to believe we're already in the last 9 weeks. We're trying to review all our skills and get ready for testing, which is the first week of April. So we're going to start on that. We have Farm Bureaus bringing their fire safety house this Friday afternoon for the kids to, where they put the smoke in. We'll let them climb through there. That's at 1 o'clock Friday. And parent-teacher conference is next Thursday, the 15th. Ms. Burleson is the elementary academic team sponsor, and they made it to state, so I think it's the first week in April that they go. to Norman for that. And then the other thing was what we talked about earlier about the Imagination Library. Dolly Parton started that. And our literacy team's been working on developing a district literacy plan school-wide. And one of the components of it is serving the kids that are 0 to 5 years of age. And we really, when you look at it, we don't really do much. I mean, we have our 3-year-old program, but literacy-wise, we don't really do anything. So Ms. Hoggard took it upon herself. She started researching about the Imagination Library, and then the Wrights family, she contacted them. They gave us a $1,500 donation to get it started. And any child in our school district from 0 to 5 can get a book once a month sent to their home, and it's from Miss Dolly Parton. I've got some information if you wanted to, but
Do they keep the book?
they get to keep the book.
Okay.
Dolly Parton, she says, provide the gift of literacy for children birth to age 5, inspire children to love books and reading, support parents and communities in fostering a child's success. Children who are ready to read early in life are better prepared for school. And so we think we can just keep growing on it from year to year, get more people to donate, and get more books out there. So we're still trying to get all the paperwork done, and then we're going to put an ad in the paper, but then we thought all our 3- and 4-year-olds, we can go ahead and get them, help them get signed up that we already have. And then I think word of mouth, it'll spread, and when we have pre-enrollment for 3- and 4-year-olds, we're going to get those parents signed up then, and I think it'll be a great thing. We really appreciate Ms. Hoggard for taking that upon herself, and it was like even on ABC News the other night, it said Dolly Parton had done this, and she gave away her 100 millionth book.
So she's been doing it.
She's been doing it. I don't know what year it says she started it, but anyway, it's a great thing. Get books in their hands, and I'm sure there's a lot of homes that don't have any books, so it's a great thing, and we don't have to. I mean,
So if people want to make a
So the
donation.
kid
People
asks
can
for
do-
it,
yeah.
and then it's sent to their house?
all we gotta do is get the parents to register, and then it just automatically does once a month.
So we have.
And
an
we don't
account
have
set
to
up
send the
now.
books, I mean,
That was I put that Imagination Library underneath
The
her
rights.
elementary activity account and put the rights money in
That
there.
started it, so now if anybody wants to send
so
a
if
donation.
anybody wants to
Imagination
donate,
Library.
we'll just put it in that
Anybody
Imagination
donates,
Library
we got
fund.
Imagination Library account.
And we'll advertise that and let people know that.
Yeah, as soon as we get word back from the foundation, we'll know kind of where to go with it and when to start. So we're hoping to do that as soon as we can.
Right,
Yeah, I mean,
Put
they-
paper reminder, 501c3.
yeah.
We're pretty excited about, a free book once a month to
Yeah.
every child.
Yeah.
You just have to sign your name up, and give us your address to send it to you. That's just,
Make the parents sign up, make sure when they enroll their kid.
Right. I mean, who wouldn't want to?
Yeah.
free book. Pretty exciting.
I don't have anything as exciting as Dolly Parton, so. These are those
Lunch menu.
special calendars that TJ gets excited about.
Thank you, my kids love it. That's how we do our calendar for the month. Yes, sir, thank you. Thank you very much.
You look at what's on the menu. It
Oh,
sounds
it's great.
delicious.
Oh, I know. It's great.
I looked on the 29th and it says, I read it, it said 29 scrambled eggs. I'm like, that's a lot of eggs. That's the 29th, not 29th.
Obviously, spring is here, with activities everywhere, March and April. Livestock show did not fall on spring break this year, which is kind of different. So we'll have some kids missing a little more school because of that. Obviously, softball, baseball kicks off, track, you name it, district vocal, speech and debate, I don't know, everything you can imagine. March and April is that's about what April looks like too, so just lots going on. Of course, Ruth talked about parent-teacher conferences. What I gave you, this is just something that our accreditation officer says, every school has to present to their board. And basically what it's telling us is under Alfalfa County,
It's in here.
it's
Oh,
in
it's
there.
here.
Where's that?
You need to know.
Sorry, Brandon.
But it just tells you how many students that year. Now, if you look back, this is 2015, fall 2015, so this is always a little bit behind. But for this year, we had 9 students, number of freshmen, and then we had 7 that were remediated. You know, and that can vary on what your class is. Sometimes you have stronger kids, but for this specific year, we had 5 kids remediated in math, 1 in reading, 1 in English. So, and I don't have the number exactly how many graduating students we had that year, but this is just something, like I said, we have to put in our folder for the accreditation officer for me to say that I told you this. And it fluctuates year to year, depending on the kids you have. You guys have any questions about that? On the dropout report, I changed things so much, and I talked to the lady again today, and they don't really do the dropout report like they used to, so you can't print it off and give you this little deal. So I just told her, well, I'm gonna go through, we're a small school, I'm gonna go through each kid, and I'll just put it on paper, and she said, that's fine, you can do that. So what I did was I went through each student. In the 16-17 school year, we had 0 dropouts, which was good for 6 through 12. We did lose 2 students to Epic Charter, which all that means is they left us and went to an online school. So, which is something that concerns us. At times, we're worried that there's going to be more of that kids trying to go to online, and not to badmouth it, I just don't know if you learn as well from.
I think our main concern isn't that they go, it's that they're going to come back. And then when they come back, they've lost time. And some kids are probably very well suited for online education.
Right.
But some kids are not. And if they've spent 6 months doing nothing, it's hard for us to get them back in here and put them in the right place.
And that's just some light reading that explains kind of more about the remediation rates. That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me. You bet. And March 15th is first track meet, so if anybody wants to drive a golf cart, just call me.
Bryce, you good?
Good.
Did
Thank
you
you.
all feel left out?
Well, they didn't tell you that we did get the A and 2A regional track
Oh.
meets on
God,
the 28th of
really?
April.
Really?
So they need to.
So you need workers for that, then, Robin?
Yeah, Bryce is in
No.
charge of that.
Yeah, probably need workers for that.
17, superintendent's report.
I was just going to give you a little update on security. I know I sent you an email earlier. I put an email out to all the staff because I think that with the shooting that we had in Florida in the last couple of weeks, you know, what we always get is we get a big flood of it's on our mind, it's on our brain, and then life happens and we all go back to until the next incident happens, and we hope that it doesn't happen, and we hope definitely hope it doesn't happen here. But I put an email out to the staff and just asked, you know, what are your thoughts on arming teachers in the school? And I was really surprised by the responses. I thought that they would maybe fall within, the older groups would think this and the younger group would think this, and that didn't happen. And I thought that maybe that it would fall that if people had grown up with the guns in their home, they were comfortable with, you know, they've been taught how to use it, they've hunted, those kind of things, that they would be comfortable with it in the schools, as opposed to somebody who's never been introduced to any kind of gun in their home or anything. But that didn't happen either. So really what happened at the very end of it all was it all comes down to fear. Not fear for their own personal safety, but fear of having guns in the school or not having guns in the school. Fear of the students being emotionally upset about there being guns all over campus, or being upset that there's not enough security. So kind of back to square one. But I thought really one of our teachers said something that kind of hit the nail on the head for me, that was that our chances of an incident happening because there are guns in our school are greater than an active shooter coming into our school. So what they were saying was, if there's guns in our school and a student got a hold of one or an accident happened, that's probably a bigger concern. So through all of it, in the next couple of months, we'll be talking more about, I really believe that maybe one of our elements to add to the security systems that we're looking at, which we've got a vendor coming tomorrow who will be our third vendor, and a vendor coming Thursday morning will be our fourth vendor and our last one, to give us quotes on what that will cost and what that will look like. And then also we're putting up the fencing around the elementary that will do a pretty good job of being secure in the buildings. And I think a key component will be a resource officer. And definitely, when I sent out the email to the staff, I put the OK Public School policy with it, because OK Public School their teachers are armed in the school. And I told them, the staff, I said, look at this, read it, formulate your opinions based on, we don't have guns in school and they do, and kind of look at it both ways. And overall, like I said, I'm going to go back to a resource officer. And that resource officer needs to be somebody that not only is just a visual presence, but does programming for our school. I want to see a drug dog here twice a year more. I want to see drug and alcohol awareness going into our classrooms, character education, DARE, all of the things that, we don't really have a person that's designated to do those things. And so that's what I would like to see someone come in and do. I will go in and meet with the law enforcement officers, probably the police chief sometime this week, and kind of talk with them about, there's some grant money out there to share a salary sometimes, if that's a possibility. So we're coming along, we really are, doing some good things that are really going to secure our campus more. It's just, Amanda Tucker and I have been working on it, and we've ordered things like, this goes on the inside of the door frame where teachers, we tell our teachers, you've got to lock your door all the time, right now, even now. And so this would come over and the door would open and shut even though it's locked, but then if there's an active shooter, they go and they take this off. So we talked about that because I think one of the teachers in Florida actually was killed because he was locking his door back from letting kids in. And I said, well, if they have to go to the door to take this off, that's still the same thing. So this quickly became something we didn't want, so it was nice to have and look at it and stick it on the door. And then Jeremy sent me this morning, which is pretty cool. It is a pod that's inside a classroom that's also a tornado shelter. And so it protects kids against guns being shot, and also if there's a tornado, they go into this pod. I printed this out, and you can look at it if you'd like. They come in different sizes and those kind of things, but I'm pretty sure that's probably very expensive. But, we've made the commitment to the security system, so I don't know, it might be something to look at. So instead of kids having to traipse across wherever to get to a storm shelter, it's right in their room. They'll go in there, they shut the door, and hopefully that they're protected from different types of situations. I do have Cindy Swearingen coming in. She teaches us the security and safety, like we're talking about at FEMA. She and I went to FEMA one year, and we went through the week-long training as a state team, and she will come out to the school and help us start the procedures and the paperwork of top-down command centers and all those kind of things put in place so that we have a working policy, not just a piece of paper that won't help us any. So we've got quite a bit of things on the horizon that I think are going to be really good, and we're going to add some additional cameras throughout the campus, and looking at all sorts of things that go with it to streamline what we have going on and increase our safety. So I do want you to know that tomorrow at 10, Mr. Elliott's funeral is at the gym at Burlington if you wanted to attend that. We send our prayers to his family, and I said this, he was always so kind to me. And we were rival schools, but we were bonded by 11 students in Northwest Oklahoma. And You know, we definitely will extend any kind of help that we can to help them get through the end of the year. If they needed anything from our principals or from myself or anything, we're here for them, and hope that his family is taken care of and are able to, you know, feel better and deal with the grief I know they're going through. There's a lot of talk right now about a teacher walkout in the state. I sent an email out to our staff today and said, you know, as your superintendent, I support teacher raises, and I support what methods you feel like you need to utilize to make that happen. Every year, for as long as I've been a superintendent, sessions have had legislation introduced that was about increasing teacher salary, and it's not happened. And so I think that it's no longer, it can be put out there as a bait and switch kind of thing for political gain for election years. The teachers are fed up and they're ready for something to be done about it. You know, my philosophy on that is anytime you start a special session with, we're going to give teacher raises, when your special session is about Oklahoma is tanking, we don't have the money to do anything, that's a little bit unrealistic. So I think that the teachers are probably at the point where they agree with that now too. I did explain to them that the date that I'm seeing on the walkout is April the 2nd. We're already out of school because of the Easter break for that. But if they were going to extend that, or they wanted to be gone additional time, they did. If there was a group that came together that wanted to do that, the principals needed to know, because I don't really have any problem adjusting the calendar, that we would have to make up the days. And that would mean we would take some of the Fridays that we have in the spring, and we will, if that is what the teachers want to do with their time, I encourage what they need to do, but we will have to make up our school days. And I've had a couple of emails back, and I really think that we, as a school, work very well together, and have a really good team with our teachers and with our admin and our board. And I think, I don't know that we'll have many teachers that do want to walk out, but if they do, you know, like I said, I respect what they're doing and want to make sure that we support them in their need to be able to have a raise. But other than that, there's nothing solidified. I did get a couple emails from OSSBA and from COSA today about plans for that. There's meetings in the morning, there are meetings on Thursday, there's some meetings kind of OEA, and everybody's kind of getting together trying to formulate a plan. So I'll kind of keep you updated on that. I do want you to know that we received a TSET grant for $3,000. I wrote that earlier this year, and it will go toward our playground equipment that we have already done at the elementary, so pretty exciting. And also we have written for a $1,400 grant for microscopes for the high school that we expect to get pretty soon too, so pretty excited about that. Other than all of that, we're going to meet and we're going to sell some bonds, and we should be hearing from Tom Barzak, our architect, in the next week to start up discussions about putting the bids out for the new roof. Already got some bids back in from AEC for heating units for the top of the building. We're just, like I said, 9 weeks left. Can you believe it? It goes faster and faster every year. But that's all I have to say. Is there any questions or anything that I can answer for anybody?
Okay, any new business on 18?
There's no new business.
19.
Second.
There's no motion.
Pretty
TJ,
quick.
second.
Pretty quick.
Little Phil.
Yes.
Yes.
Allison. Yes, Phil. Parker.
Yes.
Little Height.
Yes.
I have some